we will have a lunar eclipse when the sun is in conjunction to Pluto, Saturn, Vega, and Ceres. Okay, so these are just huge names, I know. Now I'll try to walk things step by step. But just to say, this is really unusual. It's quite amazing. Usually when you look at a chart, things are spread out all over. During this time, all the planets are really aligned, because conjunction in actuality means alignment, because they're one after the other. And this is absolutely unique, and it's absolutely unique that the sun joins this whole conglomerate and really passes it degree by degree, unfolds its story. And at the time of eclipse, it's really absolutely mind-boggling, and this is my professional view of things. Okay, what we are seeing in actuality is that all these planets that seem to us, one near one another, are actually creating an alignment during this day, and the sun is getting into this alignment. So why do alignments affect us so much? So if when you're in space, you actually can't see light unless it touches something. Okay, so the sun sends its light, but the whole space is dark apart from Earth or the planets, which reflect the sun's light. You look around, it's dark, yes, but when the sun hits something solid, then you can see its light. Now, the planets are something very, very special, because things are happening in the universe all of the time. It's like there's always radio waves and transmissions, but meaning that things come from the universe all the time, new materials from the basket of creation. Things are always pouring in, but no one can see it, no one can hear it unless it hits something. It hits a planet or a star, and then this sound can be translated. It's like having a radio receiver that can finally translate the sound waves. So we can see it with our eyes as light. We see the light of the stars, which means that they reflect and they do something, and they radiate the light that they received. People in ancient times said that they can hear the music of the stars. Okay? So there is something with the planets, and we know that even in a strange way of feedback. Yes, if you're transmitting music and there is another transmitter nearby, there is feedback. You hear this unpleasant sound. Okay, so when planets are aligning with one another, finally there can be a feedback, but in a good way. There can be a sound, there can be a light, something can really pass through and be translated from what is now we're swimming in, which is always new from the universe. But we can't translate it unless there are planets there. Trying to keep this explanation short, just to say that the alignment of planets is like a message from the stars, or an ability to translate something that is now incoming from the universe. So alignments are crucially important in astrology. And of course, they're also kind of rare, because the solar system is so big and every planet is in another direction. So the fact that things are really aligned, yes, the orbits, things go around, the fact that something is really to the degree aligned in that huge space is kind of amazing. And this is why when we see such an alignment, so many planets at one time, what is it? You know, it is so, so, so big. And these planets also allow us the process to do at this time and the translation of this time. So what are the planets that are in alignment already now, but the sun will join them on January 10th, okay? So now I'm presenting here, everything that we see here side by side is actually in alignment, and of course not to scale, yes? So we have planet Earth, we have the sun. Behind the sun, we have Ceres, which is this symbol, which is an asteroid that represents the mother aspect. Behind that, we have Saturn. Let's see if I can write. Now, when I did that, it was so funny because it seems that at first that the planets really want to spell escape, but it's not like that. It's okay, but it's very close to it. Saturn, after Saturn, we have Pluto. So you see how close it is to escape. And then really, 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 really far behind that, we have Vega. Now, Vega is not a planet, it's a star, and it is a very, very, very special star. So all of these create, apart from the sun, they already create an alignment, which is amazing. The sun is going into this alignment, taking part of it. On the eclipse, on the lunar eclipse time, not only the sun would be here, but the moon will be here also with this alignment. So this alignment will create the lunar eclipse. And for those who know the Rev creation, you know, we're really having here stairway to heaven. This is really, really, really unbelievable. The alignment that is taking place. So what are the processes? What is the message? So Ceres is the mother figure, and it talks about taking good care of things. Saturn is the gatekeeper. So this is the Saturn card. And Saturn is the gatekeeper. Yes, it's a gate. The seventh planet from the Earth. It's a border. It says, you know, stop here if you're not suitable to go further. And it really talks, and it's also called Saturn, the Lord of Karma, which talks about things needed to be very, very settled, very, very okay, very, very stable, very, very aligned. We can't have a loose ends at this time. It also talks about facing some of our challenges and difficulties. Okay, it's not a very simple time and card and planet that we are facing or the alignment is presenting, but when we deal with these things that usually are a problem for us, because Saturn talks about our challenges and the places where we can be stuck, and one of the first gates is being aware, because the sun is there during that time, and the sun is talking about consciousness. So what this spells is really be aware of these gates and these challenges. But something really empowers now the ability to solve these issues. It really is, because it's just the first step, and there is so much going on beyond that, that things are really there now to open up our gates and break our stop situations, but only if we are aware of it, of the time, of ourselves, of our difficulties, of the fact that there is a gate, and I don't want to ignore it and face myself to another direction, because this problem is actually the direction to go through. Okay, this is the direction. This is where the alignment. This is where all the other promising planets are hiding. Okay, so if you have a difficulty, yay, face it, because this is where to go. So we love our closed door these days because they can definitely open. Whilst we open the gate, I have to put, it's not really connected, but just for our subconscious, I want to put in the card of the gate. It's really not connected. I'm just putting it in so we can all have this vision of the gate opening. Okay, so it's going to open. Okay, because we're tough. We can deal with things. We're aware of things. Okay. The next station is Pluto. We really want to walk through this alignment and reach Vega at the end. Okay. So the next station is Pluto. And Pluto talks about transformation. Going from dark to light. Now, Pluto is a very interesting planet because till recently it was thought of as the furthest away planet in our solar system. Now, since then, much was discovered, and there are other things beyond Pluto, but still Pluto represents the border of what we know. It talks about the unseen world, it talks about the unknown, it talks about the future, and it talks about transformation because it needs a transformation. One of the ways that Pluto suggests to transform is actually not to go at things from our usual direction. Usually we're trying to go from here to the future. Trying to. And Pluto talks about another thing. Try to come from the direction of the future. I know it might sound strange, but try it. Yes, it might open some gates. It's not coming from the situation of anyhow, you don't sometimes want to come from the direction of the problems, right? You want to come from the direction of the solution and what's beyond the problem, beyond the closed gate. So Pluto also, so it talks about meeting the unseen worlds, talks about transformation, talks about going into the unknown, coming even from the unknown. And it asks us to go at things with all might again. So Saturn and Pluto are two very serious planets. They're not Mercury and Venus. They're very, very serious planets. And we do need to be very even tough, able, determined during this time. Okay, and it does talk about the ability to transform ourselves and therefore open the gates. Okay, some gates won't open if you force them; they will open if you change them. You change yourself. Sorry, if you change yourself. And then, after Pluto, 40 light years away from Pluto, there is a star which is now part of this alignment, not part of the solar system at all, but of another completely level in octave. And this star is Vega. And this is actually where we're reaching for. Vega is one of the most interesting stars in the sky. First of all, it's one of the rotating polar stars. At times it was the northern star, and it will become like that again a few thousand years from now. But it also marks the direction our whole solar system is heading to. That it really talks about the higher direction, the future, where we're aiming at. And it talks about a huge elevation because it's really elevating above everything that is personal, dropping all our personal problems because we're connecting to something much higher, which might be the solution, which might be the way to go through, changing direction instead of trying to face Saturn's closed gate, which is my own personal problems. Maybe we should come from Vega's direction, which is where is humanity heading to? Yes. And how can I be part of it? How can I be part of this direction? And then in an interesting way, all our personal problems might shed. And this might be the transformation that we're talking about. So this was the walk through what is happening at this time. Yes, most of this alignment is already on, and the sun is slowly joining it. If we're able to do this walk with our eyes open, with our consciousness, with our awareness, then we're able to do something amazing, not only for our personal lives, but really help planet Earth receiving the new forces that are transmitted during this time, and connecting to Vega, which means connecting to the direction we're needing to be heading at, which for so many years, planet Earth, most of the people on it are not in that direction. So we really want to connect back to this direction. So this is what's happening during this very unique time.